Hello everybody, welcome to another weekly forecast edition for F45 trading. I am going to run through the markets here for you quick for the week on where I think the levels are going to reach to and point out a couple of obvious points on some charts, some of the major pairs, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time today to do it, but it's just looking at the economic calendar on the week. Monday's not going to be a real busy trading day, I don't believe. I wouldn't expect a whole lot of action to happen, and just more continuation into the direction from last week for a lot of the major pairs is what I'm forecasting. But we have some FOMC member meeting for the US dollar about late morning on Monday, and then Tuesday is where we're going to see the pound dollar start to move a little bit. I think some of this news could push it around. And then we've got a lot of euro news on Wednesday. So if you're trading, you're going to be looking at the pound dollar moving on Tuesday and then the euro moving on Wednesday. So that's what we're going to look for the opening of the week. And then we've got some more FOMC news and some medium impact US dollar news. And we do have monetary policy meeting accounts for the euro on Thursday, so we could see some volatility between the pound and the euro as well. And then going into Friday, obviously a little bit more of the same. So we definitely should have a good week of movement. There is lots of economic news on the forecast, which should move price around a little bit, with the exception of Monday. Could be a little bit quieter on Monday, but we'll have to see how that pans out. But I'm going to be looking for trade setups for the pound dollar on Tuesday and then the euro come Wednesday. So with that being said, going to dive into the markets quick here. Have a look at the US dollar. You can see on the weekly, last week gave us a nice big bullish up move, and I think we're just one step closer here to the 94 big figure level getting taken out, and that just comes in the way of these equal highs up here. When I zoom down to a daily chart, you'll see that a little more closely. I think ultimately price is going to want to reach up and take out these two equal highs here at 95 big figure as well. So again, I don't know if it's going to be a straight shot or not. If we get another week like we did last week, that could be the situation that happens. But keep in mind going forward here, this week will be, and I believe, give me 1 second, I'm just going to confirm if they have non-farm on Friday, June 1st. Yes, they are. So this week is going to be coming up, is going to be should be a good week of movement, and then like I say, next week is going to be non-farm, so we could see some market volatility happening in there. So either way, I believe 94 big figure is going to get taken out on the US dollar, which we're only trading at 93.60, so they could easily do that in a day or two of trading here to open up the week. And you can see price is starting out bullish. At the time of this recording, price has opened up and it's already put in the first hourly candle. So I think, again, moving forward, they should sweep these highs in here, and these are equal highs. Never mind this little wick here. This doesn't exist on a lot of other broker feeds. Once they push through there, we could see a little bit of a pullback, and this could, again, they'll chop it up here, I think, the rest of this week, take that out, and there could be a little bit of retracement that ensues from there, or they'll just want to keep powering it straight up. And I think this blue line right here, once it reaches and surpasses 95, I have it as 04 right here on this chart, but basically 95.20 is sort of the level that I'm looking at, this blue line right here, which brings us back into these old lows right down in here. I believe this will be significant resistance for the US dollar, and we could see a measurable bounce downward from there. I think what they'll do is they'll come up, they'll sweep the liquidity up here, and then they'll run for the stops up here. They'll grab them. It'll probably be a bit of a turtle soup, and then they'll reject, and I would imagine we'll start to see, like I say, a measurable retracement from there. Now, if you look, let's just kind of do a little bit of forecasting. Let's just say, for instance, this whole price swing right here came up and finished, let's say, right on that 95.20 level. If we did get a measurable pullback, you can see the 79% retracement level back down here, 72 to 79. That could be in the cards if they want to dive deep enough to scoop up a lot of this liquidity. This is an area of significant support with Fibonacci, and again, it just brings us back down to this consolidation level here, back down to the highs almost perfectly. So just forecasting a little bit out into the future, and I'm not saying this is going to do it tomorrow or the next day or next week or next month, This would take probably a few months to come to fruition, but that could be the move that we're looking for going forward. Price to run up here, hit some resistance, and then I would, again, I would assume a measurable pullback at this level. I'm not necessarily saying that this could, or this is definitely where it's going to go, but it could be. Anywhere from 61.8 down to 79% is where we could get a move. But I think short term on the downside, I'll just borrow this guy right here. I think the liquidity rate under here, under these two equal lows that were put in, I think that will definitely get run first. So, but for this week, looking for a push up. I want to see 94 swept, and I want to see continuation higher. So we're going to see what the weekly profile gives us, and you can see, like I say, this was last week's week. Just a nice big bullish up candle. And it's actually just been nothing but bullishness on the US dollar for the past month here. 1, 2, 3, minus this candle here was a bit of a doji, and that was non-farm a couple weeks ago. 4, and then a big push up into here is what I'm expecting to finish off and cap this week. So we're going to be watching for that. Now, if we see this big bull move happen on the US dollar, we should see the US Euro USD move in tandem as the mirror opposite. So we should see a big push lower to the 11700 level, and that's the level, two equal lows here. I've been talking about those for a while. Should see that this week rather easily. And again, you can see the US dollar, it's just hovering below those lows. Those are, see those two equal highs right here? Basically this red line is right where we're looking here. Again, never mind that wick right there. And we're just crouching just below that, ready to explode up into it. Same thing on the euro. We're just crouching right below there, ready to explode down into there. And we're looking at, it's only 71 pips. So what I'd like to see on the week, and we probably won't get it, more than likely I think what we're going to see happen is price is just going to keep diving, and it's just going to sink, 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 sink. And then once we lose this low here, we could come back up and retest some of the highs in here. But I think the price will probably just sink right from the onset of Monday's trading. You can see how prices come back up here once, twice, 3 times, and tested the lows back in here again. More than likely, they've probably done all the back testing that they're going to do, all the retracement, and they're probably just going to sink it from here. Could be wrong. We'll watch for that, but going down to an hourly, you can see how they really work this level very, very well. There is liquidity resting above here and above here, but you see these two equal highs right here. In my opinion, I believe we'll see price probably want to run up and scoop up those equal highs right there. So that's what I'll be looking at. That would be the only short-term pullback that I'd be watching for them to come up, do a quick liquidity run, and drop. And again, the target would be 11700 and probably lower. I'd like to see them sweep these two equal lows in here by at least a good 20 pips. And the low comes in here. This is the lowest candle on this feed here. Comes in at 117.12. So I would hope to see at least 116, 90, 116.80 even. But we'll see how that goes through. But that's what I'm expecting on the Euro USD. Moving over to the pound dollar, same type of idea. Now here's the thing on the pound dollar. So we can see that there are several areas of liquidity and areas where they didn't run the stops as they were moving price up in this bull move. One right here, and this is the big one right here. Another one right here, and then another one underneath here, which technically last week it just got that on this broker feed here. So I think what we're going to see, there is definitely some underlying strength in the pound dollar. There's no question about that. This has had a nice sell-off, the same as the Euro USD, but not quite as much ground has been covered as the Euro has covered. Same with the US dollar. Big move up. Took out a lot of significant highs on its way up. The pound dollar, so far, it hasn't really done anything. It took out this significant low here and just got this significant low right there. But I think the big one is going to be 13300, as I have dog tagged over here. I'll just make that an even number so you can see what I'm talking about here. But what I'm hoping to see is a move down into this area this week, and that is about 175 pips away from that now. And as I say again, there was a lot of news coming out on the on the pound dollar for Tuesday, so we could see that happening. You can see prices to start out the week, it is doing a little bit of retracement. I'm just going to zoom in on this a little bit. So we've already, this is Monday's candle, which is opened up at the time of this recording. You can see how price is retracing a little bit. Put on the day dividers here so you can see what's happening. I'm not expecting price to run up above these highs here. So like the euro I was saying, I would expect to see these highs get run out. The pound dollar, I don't necessarily, I mean, they certainly could, but they have definitely worked price quite well in this area in here. So I think if they're going to go higher, the only place that logically that they would want to go higher would be up to here, which would be the 135, 75 level. It would be, I think, just to sweep this here and this here. So if they do push higher, keep that in mind. That could be on the menu to grab some liquidity above the market before they sink it. And as I say, it has shown strength. So as this, as the U.S. dollar has been screaming higher and the Euro USD has been screaming lower, they've really been holding the pound dollar and keeping it in a nice tight consolidation. I'm expecting them to release that very soon, and I think it'll get released once the Euro USD pushes down and hits the 1700 level. That could be finally the last straw, and this will finally release, and I think we'll get a push down and significantly take out these lows down to 13300. But I'm not necessarily, this level down here, I'm not necessarily expecting them to take this, only because this has shown a lot of strength. And so typically what happens when you see the US dollar, for instance, being the major backed currency, if it takes out a high, like I think it's going to take out these 95 big figure level, and I think it's going to do it fairly soon. If the pound dollar fails to take out significant levels like this 3300 or this level down here, which again, we'll call it 130.20, if I can get that level-ish. There we go. If we fail to take out this low here, then that's going to show significant strength to the pound. And as the U.S. dollar starts to roll over, as it captures this high here, hits the resistance and starts to roll over, that's where you're really going to see the pound dollar start to take off and move higher in a very, very quick fashion. So I think we'll see that here before too long. I am bullish on the pound dollar, same as the euro, and I think eventually they're going to run out these highs from pre-Brexit, and this is just a nice calculated pullback here, retracement. And if you take a fib off of these lows to that, I'll try to keep it to the bodies and forget the wicks, but you can see the 79% retracement level again. 72 to 79, it's right around that 13300. So again, I'm not, I believe the pound dollar is showing a little bit of strength currently. So I think we could see some rejection at the 13300 level, and price could scream higher. So we're going to be watching for that moving forward. But again, to start the week, what I would like to see, prices pulling up here, what I would like to see is them to start rejecting and rolling over. And really, I don't want them going too much higher. See this daily bull candle right here? I'd kind of like to see them to not to go through this candle and go much higher than that candle. That's sort of what I'm expecting. So, like I say, we will watch and see, wait for the weekly open to happen here, and for Monday's trading, and then into Tuesday, the pound should do some moving on Tuesday, and we'll probably send out some signals on that. Moving on, crude oil came down off of its highs, from serious highs. It hit $72, over $72 a barrel last Thursday, and Friday so far failed to get higher than that, and now they are starting out the day very, very bullish. Honestly, bit of a sideways. So the past few days, this is when Trump decided to exit from that Iranian deal. Price screamed up higher, but really has failed to make any significant movements higher since that has happened. Price has actually just kind of been consolidating a little bit. But what they haven't done here, see these here, low here, low here, low, little bit of a stop run right here. They haven't come down to take any of these lows off. So what they could do is come up to here to about the 71.75 level, reject and come down and sweep these lows under here. If we get that happening, then I would expect price to kind of rebalance somewhere right around the $70 per barrel level. And then we could see a continuation higher. But I definitely think it is going higher. I don't believe that this is going to be the top right here, but we could see a little bit of a retrace before that does come to fruition. So we're going to be watching for that on crude. Nothing to give you on it yet. You know, if you look on the daily, if we take a fib, I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit as best I can. Actually, you know what? Let me do this, guys. Let me make everyone's life a little bit easier here. I'm just going to start with a clean, fresh chart here. So you can see this low that was posted in right here. Again, that was when Trump was backed out of that Iranian deal. If we took a fib off of these lows in here and ran it up to, let's say, today's high, again, retracement-wise, we could see a move back down to these old highs back in here. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I'd like to actually see that. This rejection here, that they may not just because of this. If this didn't happen, I would say 100% yes, price will roll over and it will come back down to the 72 to 79% retracement level. However, because of that, all bets are off. So they could just keep screaming this thing much, much higher. And long term, let's go to a monthly actually. Long term, you can see on the monthly, there's a lot of room to go higher. We're well away from the $75 barrel, and I think even up to these levels in here, we might see some resistance at just sub 80. And honestly, I'd say a big figure, $80 per barrel. That's kind of that big sort of psychological level that I think they could definitely reach for. I think we'll be hitting that here by the summer at least. So next couple of months here. So that's my take on crude oil. I am also looking for a setup to happen on sugar. We sent out a signal on that one. I'm waiting for the price to pan out and to come back down to our entry level. But we have seen some nice bullish movement on that. And basically what I was looking for price to come down, I've been talking about it all through down here. I wanted to see price come down, make a low, come back down, fail to make another low, and it has done that. And I want to see price explode off of that. And so far we've been doing that. I want to see what happens with the opening candles into CME on Monday morning, and from there, if I see any price reversal, I'm going to probably look at some buying opportunities in there. So you can expect that if you are a member to see some signals coming out on sugar fairly soon. Bitcoin, we're going to wrap up with that. Like I was saying to you earlier, as they were running this price up here, I said I highly doubt they're going to come up and run for these this 12,000 level here. As you can see, price has fallen off now. So far, it hasn't had any willingness to do that. I'm going to get rid of that line for you. Price did open up nice today. You can see this big bullish gap today. What I'm expecting on Bitcoin is for price to run up right around this 9,000 level, you know, plus or minus a couple $100. You know, 9,100. I would even say maybe even the lows in this guy in here. Yeah, about 9,150 or so. And I would expect price to roll back over, close in the gap, and then come back down lower and finish. And I think we're going to, again, sweep out these lows here. May not happen this week. Could be more towards the end of the month or early into next month. But watch for that, guys. I think that was sort of the height of what Bitcoin's going to get for the interim, and I think lower prices are abound. So if you are a Bitcoin holder, just take heed and you better let your Coinbase wallet know that it could be in for some more fire coming here. So, okay, that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to talk about today. I am looking for a bounce, though, speaking of cryptos. So this is Ripple. I'd like to see Ripple fall back down. So if Bitcoin, if it does, where's my Bitcoin chart? If Bitcoin does come back down and start to sweep down underneath these lows, I would actually expect Ripple to do the same and come back down. I'm not looking for these lows here to get taken out, but I am looking for a return back to the you know, 45-cent mark, give or take, and I would like to see a rejection happen from there. So there could be some opportunities for some longs coming up on Ripple. So hang on to your cash there for a few, guys, because there could be a good opportunity coming up on Ripple here soon. So anyway, that's it. Hope you guys have a great week of trading. We'll be back again Tuesday with some live sessions, Wednesday live sessions, Thursday live sessions, Friday live sessions. It's going to be a good week of trading. So make sure you guys have your notifications turned on your cell phones, because we'll be sending out signals left, right, and center this week, because there are a lot of opportunities coming our way. So thanks very much for your time. Hope you guys had a great weekend and are looking forward to next week's trading like I am. We'll talk to you soon.